Take care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to embed them, but it's hard when I use Canva.
Yeah. Okay, that one's there. Are these? Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tell me everything you know in excruciating detail about Mad City. Mad City. They're mad all the time. They're just at my house and they were very they wanted to sell my wife windows and doors in the bathroom remodel. And she was at the door and I opened the ring container. I'm like, hey man, we'll reach out if you need anything. How about that? Oh, sorry, okay. Are they nice? Are they nice?
Gary Collins' wife.
Okay. They should interact with staff. They don't. Burn their warehouse. We can burn their warehouse. I don't know. Here's what you need. Tennis ball, or a paintball.
Does look different.
Archie says.
Staying in place awkwardly
But on that street,
You want to target it.
I gotta believe it's an old neighborhood. There's wildlife in there. 'Cause you, well, you have to be at the very least, you have to cross it. So, you know, you get, is it around the school?
Diana?
And then, plus, I know Bill Gilbert does a lot of digging, and it's like, he's overplaying. No. I don't even know where some stuff.
I don't know that anybody wants to.
And it's sewer.
I mean,
Conflict. Properties. So we'll put these right here.
you got an Amazon account?
Hey, I got margarita. You mix alcohol, you control the color. This is one, this is one like, is it just hey, I'll try to
Spike strips.
because you know, that's on the agenda. So they're gonna plan things. It's 600 trees altogether. Is that what I read? Well, then, yeah, this grant was $21 a piece.
No, that's not. And it's all
And you had it been before I went license. No. So it's working.
So maybe can't run fast. Put a big cheater pipe. Someone's about to pull the cheater pipe. Well, if I don't want to, my wrench down. You drop my wrench down the pipe when you run. I've seen you run.
Yeah, get a license plate.
Yeah, I think it was, as long as it could have been.
I call to order the Marshalltown City Council. We are at 10 West State Street. It is February 9th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Would everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Cahill.
Here.
Fonseca. Here. Mitchell.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Yepes Gomez.
Here. Okay, let's move on to public comment. Members of the public may make comments on any item that was not on the agenda at this time. The speaker shall approach the microphone, state their name and address. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless a longer comment is authorized by the mayor. The speaker shall direct comments to the mayor and the council as a whole. The mayor and council may provide a response to a public comment, but shall not engage in discussion or debate on items raised by members of the public. No action will be taken on items raised in public comments to comply with open meetings laws. And with that, does the council have any comment? Oh, I'm sorry. Public comment?
Linda Clark, 306 South 2nd Avenue. I have 2 comments. One, we have a historic fire truck that used to be here in the city, and I have mentioned it, and I was told by the chief, need to check with the Historic Society. I mentioned it to Ms. Fonseca. If the fire truck still is Marshall County owned, I would like it to be back here in Marshalltown, like it was back when Dale Benskin was keeping care of it. Now, the next issue I have, I notice we don't have our TR here. Lately, there have been things take 5 days to correct a mistake, a major mistake in an article in our Times Republican. But everything that seems to be happening in this city all revolves around alcohol. We are supposed to pedal our bikes and go and drink and come up for ladies' night because everything is going to be all furnished, and alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. I miss my councilperson, Al Hoop, because he would vote no on all of this alcohol. And I am kind of concerned about that. Everything is come and drink and go. And I lost friends too, drunk driver. So just comments that I wanted to make. Everything seems to be revolving around liquor.
Thank you, Linda. Anyone else? Now we'll move on to mayor, council, and administrator comments. Anything from the council? I have nothing. Do you have anything? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, items number 8 and number 9 have been pulled to be discussed. Do I hear a motion to,
I'll move for approval, Your Honor.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Okay, moving back to number 8.
Resolution approving the use of council-designated local option sales tax revenues for the additional year of the flock camera system.
Move for approval.
Second?
Okay. Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay, cool.
Hi, my name is Lane Peary. I live at 20 East State Street in Marshalltown. Mayor and council members, thank you for pulling item 4.8 for discussion. Although it appears to be a funding formality, funding is policy. Choosing not to appropriate funds is the cleanest way to end this contract, which is exactly why this discussion matters. Last meeting, I spoke about fear in Marshalltown, especially among immigrant families. Tonight is about something you can control locally, whether we continue paying for a surveillance system that can be accessed beyond our intent and potentially without our knowledge. I recognize MPD has credited Flock with generating leads. I'm not denying that. But usefulness alone cannot be the standard for systems that collect data on everyone who drives through town. This decision is about whether safeguards work in practice or whether we can maintain community trust. There is documented evidence from other jurisdictions that federal access or broad network access can occur in ways local agencies did not fully understand. For example, a Mountain View, California internal audit found that a nationwide lookup setting was enabled without the agency realizing it. That matters here because when residents, especially immigrants, believe surveillance can be repurposed, trust drops, cooperation drops, and public safety suffers. And I want to emphasize, Mountain View is not the only place where concerns have been raised. A civil rights group in multiple states, and even an Illinois state audit, have documented ALPR systems creating broader access pathways than communities realized. And you don't have to commit a crime to be tracked. ALPR systems collect data and store data on everyone in range first: commuters, parents taking kids to school, and families visiting town. Then they allow searches later. Even if current settings are restrictive, the Mountain View example shows that software switches can change and local leadership may not immediately know. This is also a budget question. F8 proposes allocating $119,000 for an additional year. Those are taxpayer dollars with real opportunity cost, especially in a year when this council is balancing competing priorities and facing broader fiscal pressure. My request is straightforward. Exercise the city's non-appropriation option and end the Flock contract. The agreement includes a non-appropriation clause allowing termination with 30 days written notice without penalty or other cost, and Flock is responsible for removing its hardware. I have the contract language highlighted if that is helpful. This approach protects immigrant neighbors worried about ICE, protects everyone's privacy from government overreach, and respects taxpayers by using the clean, no-penalty exit that the contract already provides. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the councilors?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Lane.
Yes.
Lane? So specifically, what are the fears? You know, you talked about overreach and immigrants and just tracking people's movement. Can you be more specific about what is the end result fear that you have for those occurrences happening?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. What fear am I worried about when I just don't think that people's privacy should be out there like that. But I also don't think that the government should be able to use local, like taxpayer-funded stuff for something that might target our community.
Well, we're going to have a fundamental disagreement here because being a little older than you and seeing a lot of things and experiencing things, I guess my belief is if you don't want to get caught doing something illegal, then just don't do something illegal. And once you go outside your house, the privacy of your own home, in my opinion, you're in the public eye, no matter someone with a camera, anything. So I guess I'm looking for that specific item, how you think the cameras will be used in Marshalltown, Iowa, to object someone to a lack of privacy in the public eye.
So what I've seen in the research I've done, and I did bring some sources as well, if that would be helpful, is that ICE has already used these systems to access just the large network of data that is aggregated. And we also know that ICE has already been detaining people that haven't done anything wrong. So if they're already having access to that, I just think maybe we turn that off.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jolene Ballard, 610 North 2nd Avenue. You wouldn't have to worry about ICE if you were not an illegal immigrant. I keep hearing the word immigrant, immigrant, immigrant. What ICE is concerned is about illegal immigrants. That's all I have to say.
Chief, do you
Your
have
Honor.
something?
Oh, I have a question for the chief, so come on up.
Chris Jones, Chief of Police.
Did you want to state something prior or?
My general concern is the use of Flock for us has been beneficial within our community. We do audit the reports that come in and the information that's taken. Law enforcement officers across the country, across the state of Iowa, are privileged to confidential information. They're privileged to my confidential information along with all of you. And there's safeguards that are put in place for both Flock and all of that other information, whether it's criminal history, whether it's your driving record, whether it's for your addresses. And we rely on the trust of those law enforcement officers not to share that information or do anything inappropriately for their own personal use. In Iowa and within the Marshalltown Police Department, allegations are taken very seriously. I know of departments, we have not been one that has terminated people, but I know of departments across the state have terminated people. If at some point the Flock system is used, in order for them to be able to access that data and information, they need to go into the NCIC system or into the Department of Motor Vehicle database, and it would be an automatic expulsion of their rights to use that system, which would terminate their ability to be a police officer in the state of Iowa. So my reassurance to you is that we would investigate thoroughly any complaints or concerns that the public may have, any actual complaints or concerns that people would be that we're using that Flock system inappropriately, and be able to use those auditing systems to be able to investigate those complaints and hold those people accountable. I don't want officers within my agency using that information for personal use, and more than likely they'll be terminated for that behavior.
Your Honor?
Yes.
My question for you, Chief, is if ICE or anyone comes in and says, hey, we want to view your Flock camera data from the last month, are you obligated to turn it over to them? How do you adjust that data, or how do you use that data?
We have not been asked to provide that data. We are required by federal and state law to cooperate with law enforcement agencies. We have not had any inquiries to do so, and we are not openly sharing any of that data.
I thought I understood at one of the last meetings, I can't remember if I was sitting here or out in the audience at the time, but you did give reassurances that this would not be used for other data other than crime, solving crimes, looking for the information on crimes, but not being used for just pinpointing a person or an identity. Did I understand that correctly?
That's correct. It doesn't pick identity. It would only be the vehicle, and the vehicle at that specific location and time that we would be able to identify. That data can only be used from our standpoint by entering either a case number, a call for service number, which is a report or an investigation that's tied with that. If there's some allegation or some concern that someone has from the general public about their information being used on Flock, and we go back and find out that somebody had been using that for reasons other than a case or a criminal investigation, those individuals will be punished.
Anyone else?
Linda Clark, 306 South Second Avenue. The way I understood the flock cameras were supposed to just do license plates and identifying a vehicle. I have a problem with that because say someone steals somebody's car, they're not operating that vehicle, and I question, why do we have to have all of these cameras? There's other jurisdictions that are getting rid of the cameras, and I really don't feel they're needed. If we are as safe as we are, we don't need to have these cameras. So I don't think we need to have them at all.
Thank you, Linda. Anyone else?
Is it possible for me to share something? This is just a quick beginner statement, sorry. Lane Peary, 20 East State Street.
Thank you.
This is just a beginning part of a statement from the Mountain View, California Police Department. It says the Mountain View Police Department recently became aware of a brief period in 2024 during which federal agencies accessed data from the first camera in operation in Mountain View's Flock Safety Automated License Plate Reader Program. It does say that this setting was enabled without MVPD's permission or knowledge, and they did rectify it once they did notice it, but it did take them a couple months. So when I bring these concerns, I just want to stress that I am not saying that MPD is doing anything wrong. I am saying that I trust MPD, but I don't necessarily trust the federal government with all of our personal information. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call, please. Oh,
Really quick. All right. Great. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I can say my name. Doris
move
Kinnick,
quick.
2020 Catalina Place. I guess the flock cameras, basically, as long as they're license plate readers and the Marshalltown Police Department has a handle on making sure that that stays in our area. It isn't like it happened in California where they didn't know what was going on. Hopefully in Marshalltown, we're a little bit more on the ball. Thank you.
thank you. One last time, anyone else? Roll call, please.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yepes Gomez,
No.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca. Yes. Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Okay, moving on to resolution number 9.
resolution amending the agreement for public services between the City of Marshalltown and the Arts and Culture Alliance.
I hear a motion.
Move to approve.
I move that we accept this resolution.
Second.
Okay,
May I? May I?
Your Honor. Yes.
The reason I asked to have this polled is this, I guess, I'll say it this way. No matter what anybody thinks, the nonprofits are not city businesses, city entities. So the flock cameras, that is a city entity. That's the police department. So what I would like to do, now this is not a motion, but what I'd like to do is at least, I'm leaning towards postponing this until the February 23rd meeting, when we get ready to set the public hearing on everything. Because the end result is, as a group, we are moving $1,033,223, if I wrote down what Carol told me today. We're moving that from lost into balance the general fund. And personally, I'm not comfortable with having to move $1 million from lost. Our slush fund, as people refer to it, the council designated freedom to, not the 75% that's property tax relief, the other 25%, it only pulls in $1 million a year. So this is moving the whole year's worth out of it in that year. It's as if we don't have any extra funds for anything else. So my question, I guess, to the other counselors is, are we between now and the 23rd, when we set the public hearing for the levy, are we comfortable with $1 million, or do we want to have further discussions on how to cut the budget? So if everyone's comfortable with the $1 million move, then there's no reason to postpone this vote. But if majority are uncomfortable, then I think we need to at least postpone this vote until the 23rd. That's where I stand on this. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Your Honor, can I ask what additional information will we have by the 23rd to help focus this decision?
May I?
Yes.
I know that Councilman Nichols has asked to have something come back for one of the departments on either the 16th or the 23rd. I'm doing some research to find cuts, not cutting people, but figuring out how efficiencies. And for example, Carol and I today discussed how to keep the levy at $16 instead of $16.25, which we'll talk about later. So I think there's time. We have two full meetings after this meeting to discuss ways we can save some money. So it's only 2 more meetings, but I think the department heads have done their due diligence. We just need to be the body on the outside looking in and saying, is this critical to the mission of the city? So that's where I'm at with that.
So are you, do I need to ask for? I have a motion and a second. Okay, then. Roll call, please.
Call the question, Your Honor. What says the next action, if he wants to delay it, is to make an amendment to table it?
Yes.
Then, Your Honor, I would make a motion not to lay this on the table, but to postpone this until the February 23rd meeting.
I'd second that.
Okay, let's deal with the amendment first. Roll call, please.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
No.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
No.
Cahill?
No.
Fonseca?
No?
Mitchell?
Yes.
Okay. Now back to the resolution. I have a motion and a second. Anyone from the public? Roll call, please.
Thompson?
No.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
No.
Nichols?
No.
Schneider?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Okay, reports. Arts and Culture Alliance update.
Well, isn't this coincidental timing? Hold on, let me pull everything up here.
At the very top. Yep.
Did you pull up the report?
Oh,
too?
I'm sorry,
No,
no.
that's okay.
It's in the folder down there.
Oh, down here. Oh, I'll let you drive. Amber Danielson, Arts and Culture Alliance Director, 126 West Main Street. I'll get us started here. Oh, shoot. Do you have the PDF that I emailed you in the Google Drive folder? I sent a link to a Google Drive folder. It's way prettier than that. In the email, there was a link right behind. I said, here's a report and a link, because it was too big to email. Yeah, the second one. Go down a little bit. Here's our presentation, that link. There you go.
Oh, I didn't see that link.
No, it's okay. There we go. Okay, I timed this under 10 minutes, so my 10 minutes hasn't started yet. There we go. Okay, way more fun. Okay, so really tonight I'm here just to give you an overview of what we accomplished together in 2025. I do want to say a lot of what I'm talking about, we are not using city dollars to do, but I want to give you a picture of everything we're doing as an organization in our community. I did just kind of want to set the, I'm going to minimize just a little bit. There we go. Kind of set the tone for what we're focused on in partnership with the city and others in our community. And that really is community development through the lens of how do we continue to make our community unique and distinct and proud, make the people that live here proud to be a part of Marshalltown. And we're doing that through attraction, retention, and engaging the people in our community. I'm going to skip to a video so that you can look instead of just hear me talk. Oop. Maybe. Is it this one?
Yeah.
There we go. So in 2025, we moved and had our first full year in downtown Marshalltown. This has been a really great opportunity for our organization. We're super excited to be in the historic district. We were able to activate our space with 8 different public events, most of them standing room only. In 2 of those events, we sold artwork and sold over 70 pieces. And throughout the course of the year, we welcomed over 2,600 guests to our space. This really has been what we're considering an incubator space. And so this is an opportunity for us to kind of test out new concepts, new ideas. In our space this year, we saw, let me see if I can do a good job of toggling between these two. There we go. We hosted events celebrating spoken word, poetry, art sales, exhibits, live music, and save the date for March 6th. We have another songwriter showcase coming up here in about a month. From a connection perspective, as we really talk about the Arts and Culture Master Plan, we often use the narrative, how do we really have the entire community activating this plan with us? We launched 3 new grant programs in 2025, 2 innovation grants, one targeted towards Marshall County artists. We meet with our Marshall County artists bi-monthly doing networking and workshops. In 2025, we invested over $70,000 in 45 different artists in Marshall County. Across 10 different events, we had 137 artists participate. And since moving downtown, we've seen an 800% growth in artist engagement. From an organization perspective, we're meeting quarterly with arts and culture leaders. We have invested over $20,000 in 9 organizations in 2025, and based on the feedback we received, we're rolling out another grant in 2026 to better support them. And then finally, for the first time, we launched a community artist grant. We focused specifically on the theme building bridges. Artist Kieran Singh Sira from Tennessee gathered with us. He's a folklorist and storyteller. He came for 2 weeks in November. We did 10 different programs over the course of 2 weeks. We had over 1,000 people participate, partnered with the Iowa Veterans Home, the YMCA YWCA, the school district, and many others. And the most exciting part is local artist Austin Chatterton documented every single one of those events. And so in 2026, we're releasing a Marshalltown short film sharing the stories that we heard in those 2 weeks. From a celebration and collaboration perspective, you might have heard Meet in Marshalltown and Dylan Does with the tourism office talking about this. We partnered with them to launch a regional approach towards really celebrating the festivals happening in Marshall County called Fiesta Season. In 2025, we highlighted over 20 festivals in Marshall and Tama County. We're getting ready to launch that here in a few weeks. We target specifically May through October, and this year we have increased to celebrating over 30 in the region. If you're following our e-letter, which we highly suggest that you do, another partnership with the Chamber, really highlighting arts and culture events happening on the weekends. So every Wednesday in your inbox, you get a little email from us telling us what you can expect for the upcoming weekend. From a digital perspective, we really upped our engagement on a digital presence, dropping a lot more new videos to really kind of show the creative lens of our community. Audiences spent over 10 days watching our videos and clicked nearly 7,000 links. We welcomed 1.2 million views on social media and 25,000 visitors on our website. And then the last little fun part, if you haven't been down to the 13th Street District, right in time for the Harvest Market, we installed our first selfie sign. So if you go on the north side of the Chop Shop, that's in front of the Rotary mural. You can put the timer on your phone, you can put your camera app up there, hit start, and then you can take some selfies in front of that space. We are planning 6 more of those around the community in 2026. If you have been driving by the Lynn Creek District, you've seen lots of transformation over the course of 2025. As you remember, oops, shoot, sorry. Guys, what did I do? It came up as a mobile. I'm sorry. This one?
No. Yeah. There you go.
Ah, sorry. Everyone needs a tech person in their life. Thanks, Jeff. We broke ground in April of 2025. I have to give a huge shout out to our little core team, mighty but little. But Carol, Kelsey is not here today. Heather and John Hall and I have spent, we probably don't want to calculate how many hours making sure that these projects are going smoothly, being on site, and really just making sure that these projects are ready for our community. You can see some of the in progress. We're getting drone footage along the way, so we're excited to kind of drop some videos as these projects come to life. They are planned to be open in late spring, early summer. Weather dependent. Weather like today gets us all really excited to see these projects finally come to fruition and really kind of come to life. So we're hopeful for a nice, long, warm summer season to enjoy these projects. From another perspective of really creative placemaking in our community, if you remember, I came before you in the fall. We gathered key stakeholders to create what we're calling is a creative placemaking committee. It's a really nice, diverse group representing lots of different organizations throughout our community. And really what our long-term plan is to align with the comprehensive study that the city is in progress of accomplishing. In the meantime, we talked about some quick wins. And so these 2 areas, and what I'll say is there has been overwhelming feedback to continue investing in downtown. So we're super excited to be partnering more with the Marshtown Central Business District on these 2 projects. So what you see is the alleyway next to 7 Rayos on East Main. That one was a direct commission. This is Gabby Torres from Clinton, Iowa, which she's proposing it be called The Lane. And we received over 30 applications when we did an artist call for the 101 West Main Street vacant lot and had international artists respond to that. The committee met on Friday, and so we have it narrowed down to a couple concepts that we're excited to share with you very soon. Not to tease you, but kind of tease you, sorry. And then finally, before I show you a little final video, I just wanted to emphasize that this work is happening community-wide. We're playing sometimes a larger role, but sometimes a really small role in a lot of these projects and initiatives happening community-wide. If you're not familiar with our website, you can go to takepartmarshalltown.org, and we have an interactive map of creative spaces, public art, and you can even drill down by murals and see all the things that you can experience in our community. It's a really great way if you have family and friends coming into town, or you're bored on a weekend, or we often hear, where's that? I didn't even know that existed. But in 2025, we added 10 new locations on this map, including some of our initiatives, but also some initiatives led by organizations and businesses like the Veterans Memorial on the courthouse lawn. Marshtown Community College did a mural and a couple of public art installations. Of course, the world's largest brick-handled trowel sculpture, I think I got that right, and many others. So, I mean, really, this is just showcasing the momentum of arts and culture community-wide. And then I'm going to end with a quick video so you can see all we accomplished together. Thank you. Hopefully, if I hit the button right. This one's way better with music.
Be able to unmute that.
Oh, sorry. It was hard to fit it all in a short.
You did that on purpose.
I didn't even know I had that skill set. With that, I will end unless anyone has any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Okay.
Amber,
Yes, sir.
so what we voted on earlier, your 150,000.
No, not. But, I mean, if you
It
would
got-
like to make that motion.
No, this year it got cut short because it changed to a fiscal year.
That's correct.
So it's 104 for next year,
That's
next
correct.
fiscal year. So in this great presentation and all this great stuff happening, you said none of the money was used that came from the city council.
No. I said, sorry, I'm sorry if that was confusing. I was saying, not everything you saw today was being used, we weren't using city dollars for. So that was really a capture of our entire year with all of the different partners we have. So as far as the exact dollars, the report that we sent has a Excel spreadsheet breakdown of every single dollar that specifically is tied to our contract with the city. So,
Can you quickly share some of those highlights with the public so they can hear them?
yeah, I can.
With where.
And I think our report is in the agenda as well.
It is, but for the public,
Sure.
can you just state a couple, just highlights that where their tax dollars are going? their
Sure.
local option sales tax?
So the way that our contract is structured, it's broken out into 3 different categories. It's broken out into the process, and so that really connects to the grant writing we're doing, the project management, and the oversight of some of these creative placemaking projects. So that makes up about 30% of the funding. 60% goes to the actual element. So when we're talking about projects like the alleyway and the vacant lot, so 100% of those funds are being used with that 60% bucket going to the actual project elements. So you're going to see, I'm just going to make this up, but benches, and you're going to see creative elements like maybe some interactive elements. Those are parts of that 60%. And then the 10% is tied to the creative, what we're calling storytelling. So a lot of that video work that we're doing, a lot of that drone footage, we really feel like that tied to community pride and people understanding what's going on in our community is tied to the visual of really showing the progress, getting that excitement. And so those are how those buckets are broken up. In 2025, and I will say too, part of our contract is a contribution to the community band. So that's a specific called out item. The rest of it is really dictated by our community engagement and our stakeholders. So, that's kind of part of why some of the exact projects weren't in our contract, is because we're engaging with the community on a regular basis, and that's kind of how some of those projects, like the alleyway and like the vacant lot, are coming to life along the way as we're learning from the community. Is that helpful?
That's very helpful, because a lot of the public, they just watch the meeting. They don't look at the attachments and everything. They just watch the YouTube video. So that's what I wanted. Thank you.
Yep,
That's exactly
absolutely.
what I wanted. Thank you.
Yep. So tonight was really a high-level overview of everything we're doing in the community. Just a portion of the city dollars were in some of those items. Any
Anyone
other
else?
questions? All right. Thank you for your continued partnership.
Thank you, Amber. Great report. Okay. Let's move on to motions.
Motion to approve a Class E retail alcohol license for the Lounge on Main Street at 19 West Main Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Anything from the public? Roll call, please.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
No.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. I, resolutions, number 1.
Resolution accepting donation of real property from the Friends of the Library located at 110 to 112 West Lynn Street, Marshalltown, Iowa.
Move to approve.
Second.
Sarah.
Sarah Rosenblum, Library Director, on behalf of the Friends of the Marshalltown Public Library. The Friends, this has been a long process. Actually, when I started, those 2 houses were listed as being getting ready to demo. Although the city had a contract with the two houses at 110 and 112 Main, and they served the city well for many years as part of their match for the lead abatement grant. When the grant one year was not successful, the Friends were then going to tear the houses down. Then the tornado happened, and then Habitat lived there, and then they left, and we were going to tear them down. And then we were approached by a local community member, and that project worked out last year, where the houses moved down the street to two lots that had houses taken down because of the tornado and/or the derecho. And so now the plan all along was that that land would be gifted to the city, and it would become truly the library block. So.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone from the public? Roll call, please.
Yapos Gomez,
Yes.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca. Yes. Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols, Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to discussion, City of Albion Street dedication request. Heather.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm going to check, but I believe that little ding was the attorney. Yes, so we have the attorney, Luke, for the City of Albion online to answer any questions as well. But this item is in relation to a request the city clerk received from the City of Albion related to a property that the city owns title to that is proposed to be a future trail on the west side of Albion and the intersection of Stanley Mills Road. The City of Albion is requesting that the city provide that to them as a street dedication. In the packet, in the memo, as well as on the map that I'm going to pull up here, it'll give you a better idea of the location we're talking. Okay, so we are zooming into Albion. And the future trail for the recreational Iowa River's Edge Trail is through this area. Right now, the city actually owns Stanley Mills Street. That was purchased as part of the agreement when the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation and Trails Inc. assisted in acquiring that piece of land. So this map doesn't quite show it accurate right now, but currently the city owns fee title to it. With that, I would welcome Luke to share any comments or requests he has, and then open it up for City Council.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I have one quick question before we talk. When you say the city, is that Marshalltown owns it or Albion owns it?
Currently, the trail in this area that we're talking about and the street is owned by the City of Marshalltown, and it is the City of Albion requesting it. Go ahead, Luke.
So, yeah, hi, everyone. My name is Luke Zielinski. I'm an attorney from Brick Gentry in West Des Moines. Our firm has been working with the City of Albion over the course of the last few months regarding this issue with Stanley Mill Street. So for a little bit of background, as Heather said, on the west side of the City of Albion, there is a road that is known as Stanley Mill Street. It has physically existed there since the city has, but it was never included in the city plat of survey or formally dedicated. So this issue has been brought up, I believe, numerous times over the last 25 years, but every time something gets undertaken to fix it, something falls through and it's never been taken care of. So we've been working with the neighboring property owners on Stanley Mill Street and the City of Marshalltown as one of those property owners. So all of the property owners technically own a portion of Stanley Mill Street. The City of Albion is asking that the property owners dedicate just the portion that actually makes up the road to the City of Albion so that it can be properly dedicated and recorded as a public right-of-way.
Your Honor?
And with that, I'll turn it over for questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, this is Jeff. I do have a question. So this is exactly where the trail is going to run. Will there be an easement set aside for a permanent easement for the trail on Albion's property? Because I know on trail projects, the last thing you want to do is give up any of the property on the trail because it can cause some problems.
We can certainly set aside an easement. That is not a consideration that we had, but that is something the city would be more than willing to do.
Yeah, I think that would be a necessary thing to get my vote on this.
Anyone else? Anything from the public?
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. I guess the question I have for the attorney and possibly Heather is, how much did Marshalltown, Iowa pay for that particular section? Thank you.
It looks like the title certificate was back, or I'm sorry, the deeds for that property were from 2014. I don't know how much was paid by the city of Marshalltown. The assessed value for all of the property that the city of Marshalltown owns, so that entire former railroad, is $10,400. I don't know what the value would be for the 30 feet that the city of Albion would like to take title to.
It is my understanding that the purchase price from the railroad company was $294,000. There were some additional expenses, and I believe the Trails Inc. Organization reimbursed the city $300,000 for the city's purchase of that railroad.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Heather, other than the possible easement, is there anything else that we should consider with transferring this property and for the future, what it would mean for Marshalltown to lose that spot?
Yeah, so this is a recreational trail, so when I look at things, I look at it more of as a public infrastructure, city street, city sewer, those kind of things. And that was the item I brought up in the memo, is that retaining an easement and then also setting clear expectations of who's responsible for what as far as costs go. So if the city of Marshalltown currently owns this property and we can go in there at any time and put in a trail, the trail's at our cost. If they ever do anything, whose cost is it to address and make sure that the trail gets connected back up? If they would do anything to their road or improvements, just clearly outlining who's responsible for what costs moving forward.
Okay.
Your Honor, for me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would like to see the city of Albion being responsible to purchase the property that they need. Since we own it now and we had to buy it, I think if they want their name on it, that they could buy it and maintain it themselves.
Your Honor.
Yes.
And this is a question, kind of a follow-up on Councilor Fonseca's question was, is Albion all in on the trails? I mean, are they, and it may come down to someone who's involved with Trails Inc., being able to say, what is their city stance on the trail, and are they willing to put forth what they need to continue the trail all the way further north?
I guess I could say historically, the city of Albion has been extremely supportive of this trail. I haven't talked to their current council very much, but yes, they really want to see this trail. It's going to be a huge economic driver for their community. So I don't doubt that unless something's changed I'm not aware of. So yeah, as long as we can get a permanent easement through here that's agreeable to everybody, I think I'd like to go forward with this. So, Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion to direct city staff to work with our lawyers, their lawyers, to come up with an amicable agreement. I don't know, I would suggest a minimal purchase price if there has to be something to transfer. And if you need anybody from council to sit on the meetings, I'd be happy to do it.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Luke, if I may.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke, this is Gary Thompson. Is this just strictly a housekeeping thing as far as Albion's concerned? I mean, reality, they don't care if Marshtown still owns the crossing or if they do. It's just so they can basically improve the infrastructure of Stanley Mill, right?
Yeah, it's more so a housekeeping thing, like you said. The city has always maintained that road to begin with. what kind of spurred it on in the last 6 months was one of the property owners was trying to sell their lot, and there was some confusion over the property lines of what that person actually owned, because somewhere along the way there was a split of that property, and then it was in the street, and there was surveys, and it was very confusing. So to assist that person, that's what kind of spurred this on to just have the city clean it up, get title to the street that they've already been using and maintaining as a public right of way.
All right, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Roll call, please.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion passed. Debt service fund and long-term debt schedule.
Good afternoon, Diana Steiner, Finance Director. Can you help me pull the debt schedule up, Alicia? So part of the property tax levy includes a specific debt service levy, so that's what I'm going to go over tonight.
That one you want?
Yes, can you twist it? I guess I can go where.
I think it's like the two arrows.
Yeah.
On the clear right.
Thank you.
Okay. So these are all of our outstanding bonds. Start out with the general obligation bonds. So if you have a general obligation bond, then you can levy taxes to pay the principal and interest and the bond fee. There's other bonds down here, sewer revenues, and those are paid with our enterprise funds. So we have the principal and interest for each loan and the bond fee. It's either $500 or $600, depending on when it was taken out. In column H, this is subtracted from the total obligation because it's coming from an enterprise fund or from TIF. So in the last column is the amount we're going to total up to cause the levy. But before we do that, down here, $3,225,000, we're taking $4.3 million of our local option sales tax times 75%, and that goes to property tax relief. And then the $100,000, we are reducing our local option sales tax fund balance, and we're taking $200,000 and reducing our debt service fund. So $2.3 million that we're going to levy. And that's going to show up 2 items from now on the council agenda. So in my memo, I set out what the fund balance was. So at June 30th of '25, the close of our last fiscal year, we had $180,000. We're drilling down $14,000 this fiscal year, and then reducing it another $100,000 for fiscal year '27, which will leave us a fund balance of about $66,000. So this is good to have on hand, because if our local option sales tax doesn't produce as much as we need, or our interest doesn't come in as high, we have a little buffer there, and we can always just use that for interest. If we wanted to go ahead and bond next year, we're not putting that in our budget right now, but if we do decide to bond for fiscal year '27, that $65,000 can make that interest payment. So is there any questions on the debt service levy?
Anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I just had a quick question. So on item 9, or line 9, You said you're applying, or we're applying to $200,000 of existing funds. Where did that $200,000 come from? It's probably an easy question.
So we have interest that's accumulating, interest income that's accumulating, and we also have the state legislature does currently give us some business property tax funds and also the rollback. We just never know at what level they're going to fund that. So it's kind of nice to have that cushion in case they decide not to.
I got a follow-up. And then on that table that you have like on the second page, is that the same fund that, like that $65,000 and the $200,000, are those coming from the same fund? Or are they in the same fund?
The 200,000 that I'm reducing the fund balance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the, okay, cool.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Diana, so the police and fire building, is that already fully paid? Could you like help us understand where we're at on that?
Okay.
Because that's the debt service levy, that's where, right? It's coming
Right.
out of.
So we
yeah.
took that out in 2016 was our first one. This one right here for $4,780,000. And then the second bond we took out was $12.7 million.
In terms of those were 20 years?
No. What did I tell you yesterday? The 2016, I don't have this written down. I think it was 10 years, and then the 2017, did I say 15 to you yesterday when you asked? So
I
anyways,
thought we had another 10 years on the last one. the 12
so anyway, I can provide that information to you if that is
Yeah.
what you want.
Sounds good. I was just wondering where we were at on that.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be 10 years coming up on those, 2016 and 2017, I think.
Anyone else?
I think the 2017 was a 20-year bond. Because I think yesterday I said 20,000, or 2037 was the last payment.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions or comments? Okay. You want to go ahead and move on to employee benefits and levy?
Okay, Diana Steiner, Finance Director. So two more levies that we have are the employee benefit levy and the municipal fire and police. So the employee benefits includes health insurance, workers' comp, unemployment, RHSA, for both what's paid or charged for the general fund and road use tax employees. And then the police and fire is their retirement. Other staff get IPERS, police and fire get their own retirement. So that's what those two are. Taking the balance down on the fund balance for those as well. This is to try and keep our overall levy to $16.25. We do like to have a little cushion in Fund 112, the Employee Benefit Fund, because we do self-insure for health insurance. And so if there's extra money that we need to put in along the way, we have that available.
Questions? Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
Yes.
Carol, do you want to talk about the police and fire right now, or do you want to wait till later?
Are you going to cover police fire next?
As part of the property tax overall levy, I was going to talk about that next. yeah.
Next, okay, let's,
Go on? Okay.
All yours.
Okay, Diana Steiner, Finance Director. So every year, we have to bring forward the proposed property tax levy. Once the council decides what they want to publish to the public, then we have a special hearing, and then we build that into our budget. So first we'll talk about this one right here. Can you make that a little bigger? Or I guess I can. Oh, go ahead. There. Okay. Okay, so for some of this we've already talked about. So when we were building the general fund, we already came up with this number. So for the general fund. So it was our regular valuations. And then you compare it to what we requested last year. Just based on the valuations, we had a 3.64% taxable growth. So based on the legislation, that kicked us a tier in the particular tier level, so we had to drop it down by another percentage to 2.61. So in the current fiscal year 26, we had 8.7 million, and this year we're getting 8.9 million. So a slight increase, but not enough to cover what we needed in the general fund. The transit levy, we talked about at the last meeting. You wanted to raise it from 40 cents to 65, so I incorporated that change. Our liability, property, and self-insurance costs, I increased the insurance budget by 10%. Our premium comes due April 1st. We don't even know yet what our premium's going to be for this fiscal year that we're going to pay out. But I did build in a 10% increase for fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27. So all of these costs all these revenues go into the general fund. And then we have the special revenue levies, which I talked about just a little bit ago. So we have the police and fire retirement, and then we have the FICA and NIPERS. So even though the cost is much higher, I applied $1 million of the fund balance to decrease the overall levy. And then we have FICA and NIPERS. And then down here's the debt service levy. So that number ties to the agenda item I just talked about 2 times ago. And then we have the capitals projects, which we talked at the beginning in January on this property tax levy at 67.5 cents. So that is set. These other ones are the amount necessary, except for the consolidated general fund. And then there's a maximum on the transit.
So as Diana pointed out, we did draw down, or proposing to draw down, the employee benefits fund by about $1 million in order to keep the levy, the total levy rate at 16.25. If council wanted to keep it at 16, you could draw down an additional $268,000 in the employee benefits levy, employee benefits fund, or in the police fire retirement fund, which staff would prefer to do it out of the police fire retirement fund because we don't have the same risks in the employee as we do in the employee benefits fund since we're self-insured. So if council would want to entertain keeping the overall levy rate flat, we do have a couple of options there.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So, Diana, when we talk about the cushion that is there for the catastrophic events, how does that tie into the employee, the benefit and police fire retirement item?
So for fiscal year 24 and 25, our self-insured fund, health insurance fund, got so low that the state notified us that we had to bring our balances up because it was too low. So we came to council and said, can you fund part of this? So we took that employee benefit levy and moved it to our health insurance fund so it would raise that balance.
Okay, so how are we doing with the catastrophic event balance?
Well, if there were numerous people that had many surgeries or cancer or anything like that, our balance in our health insurance fund is going to go down pretty quickly. So if we had to, we could use the employee benefit money and move it over to the health insurance fund.
Okay, so then we're talking catastrophic events as in those health issues or
Yes,
like?
health.
Okay, it was health.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, not tornado or dredge.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
No,
I was,
no.
the catastrophic was in there, so I was thinking,
Okay.
well, how does the tornado
Okay.
situation? Okay, so then, I mean, now that you say that about the cancer and stuff, like, and Iowa being, increasing cases with cancer, unfortunately, like, I don't know, thinking about that now, you're just bringing that up to me, so anyways, that's all I have to say.
So yes, we kind of need to discuss what property tax levy rate, and then the public hearing for the proposed property tax rate. This is going to be published in the paper. So this has the same numbers, has similar numbers on it, same numbers as the other form, just in a different format. So this is current year. That's this current fiscal year. These are our amounts we're levying. The middle column is if the dollar amounts stayed the same for all of these, but because our taxable valuations went up, what would the rate be? So in this example, it was $759 for a house of $100,000 valuation. It would go to $796 based on the increased valuations, which is a 4% increase. And then this is our proposed budget for fiscal year '27. So in my memo, explained it a little bit differently here. So if we're going 16 to 1625, your property taxes for $100,000 valuation, this does not include any homestead exemption or anything like that, but it'd be $759. If we had no increase in the valuations, you'd pay $724, so it actually drops because the valuations go up. And if you had a 10% increase in the valuations, it would go up to $796. So it'd be $37 more. And this one is an example of commercial property. And then if you just kept it at $16, it actually goes down if your valuation stayed the same, which we know our valuations don't stay the same. So it goes up to $784 if you have a 10% increase in your valuations from $100,000 to $110,000. So since we need to set the hearing at the next meeting, either on the 16th or the 23rd, I need to know which direction you want to go with the overall property tax rate.
Your Honor, may I?
Yes.
Carol, earlier today you said that you and Diana felt more comfortable getting that core. Okay, let me back up. I want to keep it at $16, not, I want to, we raised it 25 cents for the transit levy. I want to find a way to offset that, to keep the rate, the Marshalltown rate at $16. So saying that, I spoke with Carol today. You both said you felt more comfortable getting that quarter back out of police and fire retirement. But how comfortable? I want to make sure that we don't push that too low, that, I mean, do we have enough buffer in there? And if we don't let any more police and fire retire in the next 10 years, I mean, are we okay?
So Diana, would our balance in police fire before any additional that we would take out be 583,779? Do I have that correct?
Are you talking about this memo here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on that one right there.
At this $16.25, I dropped it about 100,000.
So it
So in order to keep it at 16, you'd have to subtract 268,000 from this $583,000 number.
yeah.
But I don't know what that number means for how many people are retired from police and fire. I mean, is that, when you look at the number, it seems like it's cutting it too low, but I don't know what that is.
So the state actually operates the municipal fire and police. It's just like IPERS. So we have a set amount, we send in our money, they operate it. So if overall the state is getting short, they're going to raise the rates. So across all the cities, the rate's going to change. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're fine with it, taking that 268 out of that fund.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, again, not my forte, your forte, but you talk about going from the 16 and money would go down, or taxes would go down, or we go to the 16.25 and the taxes go up on the evaluation. Is there a middle of the road that we can, I mean, do we look at 6.15 or 6.13, or do we have to use those increments of the 25?
No.
I mean, so that we keep it at a same level of what people are paying now. We're very close, but yet we are actually, it's a benefit from there.
You can raise it penny by penny if you wanted to. So these are, the reason I give you these examples is because this is what's going to get mailed out to all the residents, the taxpayers. So you propose a limit, a property tax rate. We publish it in the paper. I send it to the county. They do their mass mailing for all the sectors. So it's city, county, school district. We set our public hearing. People can come comment. You cannot go higher than what was published, but you can go lower. So those are your choices. Did I answer your question?
Yes, as I said, I'm just trying to keep us on
Yeah.
an even keel rather than an up and down roller coaster of, going down this year, and then people get used to the lower level, or going up beyond maybe what we definitely need, coming in halfway so that their taxes are similar to what they've paid in the past.
Your Honor, may I?
Yes, you can.
May I? Remember that the city's taxes are part of a bigger formula. So holding it at 16, we can tell our constituents that we, for years, I think since I've been on the council, we've held, well, when you and I were there, we've held it at 16. We can't control what the county and the other tax
School.
bodies do, the school. So, I mean, I'm just fighting a personal battle as far as a city councilor with that, is where I'm at.
The reason we do this comparison, moving from valuation increase of 100 to 110, is because that's what's going to get mailed out to you. So, just so it's not so confusing. Now, will people's valuations go up by 10%? Don't know. Every person's different, and property value is different.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm afraid we'd be drawing down these fund balances too low, and then we're going to have a big uptick in the next few years. I'd prefer to just keep it at 1625 as proposed here.
Is that a motion?
I will make that a motion.
I have a second on that.
Second.
Any other questions or comments?
I have one more question on another topic that was covered. May I?
Yes.
Diana, you said you don't know what that insurance payment's going to be. If it's over 10% that you budgeted for, where are you pulling that additional money from?
Well, it's all in the general fund. So I may be back.
So in other words, it's lost.
Any other questions or comments from anyone? Let's have roll call, please.
So we're voting on 1625.
Yes.
Correct.
That's correct.
Fonseca? Yes. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
No.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
No.
Motion passed. That's the end of the show, folks. Meeting adjourned. I noticed you were furiously. Did you want to do more talking? I didn't cut you off because you know you're supposed to.
No, I just wanted to weigh in.